So in today's video, I'm just going to be showing you a few big changes from the TTS, starting with Ela and her Scorpion's recoil. I started using her recently and I kind of got a handle on her gun, but overall her recoil is just terrible, so I'm glad they're taking a look at it now. So what they've done is, instead of changing the recoil for the entire gun, they're changing the first 16 shots. So the first 16 shots will be more manageable, and after that the gun's recoil will be like how it is right now in the live build. So I mapped out the bullet pattern from the live game and from test server, and you can already see that the big difference between the two. The recoil is now much less random, and you can see now it still jumps left and right, but not as drastically as before. But not only that, the spacing between the bullets are much more consistent. I only did testing with and without the vertical grip. I didn't really have time to be going through all the different muzzle attachments, but I just want to show you the quick changes. And the vertical grip makes burst recoil and controlled firing a lot better. Again, this is only for the first couple shots, but it's still a change that I'm willing to take over how her recoil is right now. Now onto Blackbeard, he actually got two buffs. So the first one is his overall ADS time is now the same as all other assault rifles. So faster ADS time for him without the shield. If the shield is on, it'll stay like it is in the game right now. And the reason this is a buff is because they nerfed Blackbeard's ADS time with and without the shield in the. So it feels like you were kind of forced to use the angle grip. But again, I'm glad they're making these changes to him. And the second change is actually with the angle grip, so it will now affect the ADS time on the Scar H with and without the gun shield. And I actually kind of have to slow it down so you can see it frame by frame, but the angle grip does make a change by like, I guess, a second or two. And next up is Ying. So they were actually taking a look at her candelas. I don't play Ying, but I guess people that do play her will be happy for these changes. So they're making these changes to make her candelas a bit more consistent and reliable. So in the build that's in the game right now, her candelas have 6 flashes, and this is how they work. So it's 1 flash at floor level and the other 5 are at head height, and the pellets deploy after 1 second. And on the TTS, it's 1 flash at floor level, 3 at waist height and 3 at head height, and the pellets deploy 0.3 seconds. So they've added an extra pellet and they decreased the deploy times of the pellets. I haven't tested the effectiveness of the flashes because it was just me on the test server, but the overall flash radius seems a bit smaller because the pellets deploy faster now, so they, I guess, don't really get a chance to fly that far over the room before they explode. So that's just one thing I'm curious about, if they just seem smaller but the flash is still the same, or if the flash radius is actually smaller now. And they also added an outline for whatever reason, so I guess that's cool. If you throw your candelas under a doorway, you can see where they're going. And lastly is Echo, and he gets the biggest nerf. So Dokkaebi can now call Echo like every other defender, and she can hack his phone and access the yokai drones. The drones also now have lights to let defenders know if they're hacked or not, but to me the lights aren't that noticeable, and you'll only see them if the drone is hovering on the ground. So I don't really think they're that useful, to be honest. Now, my thoughts on this patch: I like everything else besides Echo's nerf, not because I play him a lot, but because in order to nerf him, they gave Dokkaebi even more power, someone with an annoying glow ability. I picked Echo a lot against teams who would bring Dokkaebi because he was a good counter. Now it's only mute, and I think there are a lot of better ways to nerf Echo. The route I would have gone would have been, instead of buffing Dokkaebi, I would have increased the skill ceiling on Echo. The characters that are frustrating to play against, I'd make them harder to play. Also, they need balancing, but yeah, that's generally the route I would have gone. I would have made them harder to play. The first change I would have made was to change Echo to how he was before, where only Echo can see his drones, not the entire team. Immediately takes away intel from 4 other people. If Echo dies, then his drones are useless. The next change I would have made is to actually make his drones louder when cloaked. A lot of people put their drones one spot the entire round and don't move them. You don't know where yokais are until you start getting spam spotted or stunned. So if the drones are louder, those times when the map is kinda quiet, you'll hear like a slight hum from the fans, and you look up and eventually see the pulsing drone on the roof. A third change would have been to increase the recloak times after each shot, again making people who play Echo have to move their drones around a lot instead of just leaving them one spot after stunning other people. And the last change is, if they really want Dokkaebi to hack his drones, then make it so where she has to hack his phone specifically. I don't know, make it a different color or something, and I guess you could do the same for Maestro if people seem to like that idea. Echo isn't frustrating to play against in my opinion, I just bring IQ. She makes it super easy to deal with him, especially after her last buff that makes her a much stronger counter to him directly, but I realize people would rather pick Twitch and complain rather than bring ops that directly counter Echo, but that's just my opinion. So those are the new changes on the test server. You can let me know what you think about those and also my changes to Echo in the comment section down below. But if you found this video helpful, you can leave a like and share it around and comment for more Rainbow Six Siege content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.